morning, Year 1, and welcome to the first day's English for our second week of home learning. So today we're going to start with a grammar lesson, and then we're going to have a think about and look at our new story, and we're going to predict how Fanchon, the nasty sister, is going to react when she's faced with meeting somebody at the well. Okay, so if you want to get some paper ready, because we're going to be doing a bit of writing in our grammar starter, that's absolutely fine. And when you're ready, start the video again and we'll continue. Okay, so before we start the grammar, I want you to quickly tell your grown-up what kind of characters you would find in a traditional story, a traditional tale. Okay, and grown-up, start the video again when you're ready. Okay, brilliant. So you would meet magical creatures. You would probably have a hero or a heroine. You would have somebody like a fairy godmother. You could have some bad characters like stepmothers or mean mothers and mean sisters and brothers. Okay, that's brilliant. So let's get on with today's writing. And here is what I want you to do. Very quickly, we're going to remember what a conjunction is. So a conjunction is a way of joining a sentence. In Year 1, we use them a lot when we talk, but now we're going to use them more in your writing. The common conjunctions that we're going to practice using are and, but, so, or, and because. And what you're going to be doing today is you're going to describe this picture of Snow White and the dwarves, 7 dwarves, using one of these words or one or more of these words. You can have a go at doing as many sentences as possible, and once you've written it out, you can then read it back to your grown-up. That would be brilliant. And what I'd like to concentrate on is using the but, so, or because the and's a little bit easy now. Okay, so once you've done that, start the video again and we'll go back into the main part of the lesson. And if you want to send me photos of that work, that would be brilliant. Okay, so welcome back. Now, we've been studying a story called Hoptoads and Pearls. Now, what I want you to do is try to tell your grown-up what has happened in the story so far. Okay, and when you've done that, you've brought us yourself up to date with where we've got to. I'm going to reread the story right from the beginning, and we're going to go a bit further on today. So, grown-ups, pause the tape, and when you're ready, start again. Okay, so today we're looking at this story, Hoptoads and Pearls, a retelling from the original tale by Charles Perrault. Go and fetch the water, yelled the widow at her younger daughter. You can finish that sweeping later, and hurry back with it. You've still got to light the fire and peel the potatoes before dinner. The poor girl hurried to rest her broom in the corner and wipe her dusty hands on her tattered apron. She never grumbled about being treated like a slave because she was good and kind and couldn't think badly about anybody. But how she wished her mother and her sister might help her out a little with all the housework now and then. As the exhausted girl stumbled out to the well with the cumbersome bucket, the widow's elder daughter looked up from her comfy chair by the window and smirked. Fanchon was like a mother in every way. How she looked? Very ugly. How she spoke? Sharp and nasty. And how she acted? Selfish and lazy. This was the reason why her mother adored her so. Whenever she looked at Fanchon, she saw herself. The widow's younger daughter reached the well and heaved up the heavy, full bucket. Suddenly she noticed an old beggar woman had joined her. The toothless crone wheezed, "My dear, I'm hoarse with thirst. Could you spare me a little drink?" "Of course," the girl said, and hurried to unhook the dripping bucket and help the beggar woman with a ladleful. Little did the young daughter know that the hag who stood in front of her was actually a powerful fairy who had disguised herself to put the girl to the test. The younger daughter had kindly helped the beggar woman to another ladleful of water and chatted politely to her for a while before hauling the bucket back home. How the girl's mother and her sister yelled and screamed and swore at her for taking so long at the well. "I do beg your pardon," the poor girl apologized. "I will be quicker next time." To everyone's surprise, a shiny white pearl dropped from her lips with every word she spoke. The stunned widow woman picked up the pearl from the floor and bit it hard between her teeth and held it up to the light to examine it. "They're real!" she exclaimed, with a greedy twinkle in her eye. "What on earth happened at the well this evening? Tell me everything, or I'll lock you in a coal cellar all weekend." The younger daughter was just as amazed as her mother and sister, and truthfully told them that she had done nothing but give a drink to a woman she'd met at the well. Pearls continued to drop from her lips as she spoke, and as fast as they fell, the widow scooped them up greedily into her pockets. "Did you hear that, Falchon?" she screeched delightedly. "Get yourself down to the well immediately." "Get lost?" the rude girl snorted. "I'm not fetching and carrying like a slave for anything." You might want to pause the video at this point and think about and tell your grown-up what you think the mother is going to do to her beloved Falchon now that she's refused to do as she's told. And when you're ready, start the video again. "I said go!" the widow roared, cuffing, which means hitting, the horrified Falchon round the head. "Find that woman and give her a drink whether she wants one or not. We're going to be rich, rich, rich." Falchon sulked and pouted, grumbled and cursed with every step that she lugged the splintery bucket, and it was only fear of her mother's temper that made her do it at all. She flung the bucket angrily into the well and moaned and groaned to herself with every wind as she pulled it back up. No sooner had she finished than she noticed she'd been joined by an elegant young woman dressed in fine robes. Can you guess who that is, Johan? That's right, it was the fairy again, but this time she disguised herself as a princess. "Good evening," the princess said politely. "Would you be so good as to allow me a drink?" And that's where we're going to stop the story. But our Hoptoad has got a challenge for us. So, what the Hoptoad would like you to do is think about what's going to happen now. Write a paragraph describing what you think Falchon is going to do, and if it helps, you could draw a picture first and think about how the fairy will do, what the fairy will do in response. So you're going to write a couple of sentences saying Falchon is going to, and then write to say what you think the fairy is going to do. Okay, and if you've done that, pretty much is today's English lesson task. If you want to take photos or if you want to upload the finished work, that's absolutely fine. There isn't anything on Teams simply because all that there is for today is a data learning objective, which you don't need. Okay, so look forward to catching up with you this afternoon. That was brilliant work, year one, and I'm sure you're going to do an amazing independent task.